Sport now and a full programme in the Premiership and another hatful for Manchester United, Gabby.
Yes, indeed. So let's have a look in detail at three of today's top games. Man United are top of the Premiership tonight after a 4-2 win over West Ham at Upton Park. Dwight Yorke opened the scoring for Man United after just 9 minutes. He later got a second. Ryan Giggs also scored twice, his second from the penalty spot. Paolo Di Canio got 2 back for the Hammers. Arsenal had to share the spoils at Highbury in a 1-1 draw with Wimbledon. Carl Cork put Wimbledon ahead after just 7 minutes. Thierry Henry equalised for Arsenal, but they had to wait 54 minutes to get on the score sheet. Canu later squandered a few great chances to grab the Gunners a winner. In Scotland, the leaders Rangers had a 5-1 victory away to Motherwell. Andre Konchelskis got Rangers first and fifth. Lorenzo Amoruso scored the second after 34 minutes. And Billy Dodds made it 3-0 just before half-time. Then just after half-time, he grabbed a second Rangers fourth. Now with a check on the results in the top English and Scottish divisions, here's Chris St Valery.
And we start this afternoon with the FA Carling Premiership. Arsenal 1, Wimbledon 1. Aston Villa 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Bradford 2, Newcastle 0. Leicester 0, Derby 1. Liverpool 2, Coventry 0. Middlesbrough 2, Tottenham 1. Sunderland 2, Southampton 0. Watford 1, Everton 3. West Ham 2, Manchester United 4. The Nationwide League Division 1. Barnsley 3, Warsaw 2. Bolton 0, Stockport 1. Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 0. Huddersfield 3, Grimsby 1. Ipswich 3, West Brom 1. Manchester City 3, Swindon 0. Nottingham Forest 1, Crewe 0. Portsmouth 0, Port Vale 0, QPR 0, Charlton 0. Bank of Scotland Scottish Premier League. Celtic 4, Dundee United 1. The match between Dundee and Aberdeen was postponed. Kilmarnock 1, St Johnstone 2. And finally Motherwell 1, Rangers 5.
Let's take a closer look at some of those results. Aston Villa manager John Gregory will breathe a sigh of relief after their 2-1 victory over Sheffield Wednesday. But that defeat increases the pressure on Sheffield Wednesday manager Danny Wilson. Michael Owen scored his first goal at Anfield since February to help Liverpool in their victory over Coventry. Sunderland keep up the pressure on the top of the table. Kevin Phillips brought his tally for the season up to 18 in their victory over Southampton. Bradford City secured only their second home win of the season and a valuable 3 points with a 2-0 victory over Newcastle United. And Brian Robson will breathe a sigh of relief tonight after Middlesbrough's victory over Tottenham Hotspur at the Riverside Stadium. Let's have a look then at the top of the Premiership table. Well, Man United go top this evening after that Upton Park thriller. Leeds, of course, play Chelsea tomorrow. Sunderland and Arsenal swap places, Sunderland really keeping the pressure up on the top of the table. The Gunners only managed a draw, of course, against Wimbledon. Liverpool stay in 5th spot and Middlesbrough move up to 8th. At the bottom of the Premiership table, Derby and Bradford took maximum points, pulling away from the bottom two, Watford and Sheffield Wednesday, but still maintaining those positions in 17th and 18th place, respectively. Everton move up to 11th spot there, and Aston Villa's much-needed win moves them up to 12th position. And moving on to the Bank of Scotland Scottish Premier League, Rangers and Celtic keep their 1 and 2 spots with victories today, and Aberdeen are still propping up the table on just 9 points. On to the pools news now, and this is the way it's looking. 3 score draws, 1, 25 and 42. 5 no-score draws, 12, 17, 18, 29 and 47, with no results to come. Staying with football, West Ham should know next week if they're to be thrown out of the Worthington Cup for fielding an ineligible player. Manny Omiyimni came on as a late substitute during West Ham's quarter-final win over Aston Villa in midweek, but he shouldn't have taken part as he'd already played in the competition while on loan to Gillingham. Villa say they should be reinstated. Ulster, the holders of Rugby Union's European Cup, are out of this year's competition. They lost at Llanelli by 20 points to 3. Meanwhile, Leicester had an important win over Glasgow Caledonians. Peter Staunton reports.
Leicester hadn't lost at home for 2 years, but their hopes of staying in this season's competition rested on winning this match against a Glasgow Caledonian side which beat them only last week. And from the start, the Scottish side looked the more adventurous of the two, scoring first through James Craig. But Leicester weren't about to lose their proud home record without a fight. It wasn't subtle, but it was mightily effective as Neil Back crashed over. Glasgow had one other sight of the try line in the first half, but this time Craig took the wrong option and the chance was wasted. After the break, Leicester turned on the power and ran away with the game. Austin Healy's long pass set up Dave Lockheed for the try which gave them the lead. And when Healy himself scored, it was all over, despite a late Glasgow consolation score. The result means that all four sides in the group are now level on 4 points each. Peter Staunton, ITN Sport.
And England's cricketers have been struggling on the opening day of their tour match against a combined Eastern Province border 11 at Buffalo Park. The home side won the toss and chose to bat, and at the close of play they'd reached 331 for 5. None of the English bowlers excelled. Alex Tudor was the most successful, finishing the day with 2 for 72. There was an exciting finish to the big race of the day, the Tote Silver Cup at Ascot. It took a photo to separate the 10-to-1 shot Tresor de Mai from the hotly fancied Splendid. Tresor de Mai just edging it by the narrowest of margins. Sounds Like Fun was third. So the full SP for you there. First, Tresor de Mai, 10-to-1. Second, Splendid, 2-to-1, the favourite. And third, Sounds Like Fun, 7-to-1. And that is the sport, Mark.
And that's it for now. I'll be back with the main evening news at 8:45. Until then, from Gabby and from me, bye-bye.